I'm back. And yes, I have been practicing. I made the goal and I dribbled with my feet because this is soccer. Now I have some unfamiliar faces out there. And so, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. German. I am from Utica Elementary Middle School, where I teach 6th grade math. Shout out to those Rangers. Now, you guys, some of you are new and probably are wondering, well, why is she playing soccer? I thought this was Let's Talk About Math. It is still Let's Talk About Math, and we are going to talk about some math. But let's do a quick review of what we talked about last time for those of you who are new to the stage, well, to the field. So, last time we talked about two standards, 6.sp.1 and 6.sp.2. 6.sp.1 was mainly about statistical questions, and we talked about those. Remember that a statistical question is going to give us a variety of answers. Think a variety bag of chips. You know, you got the different flavors of chips. That's what we need from a statistical question, a variety of different answers that's going to answer a real world question. That is a statistical question. Also, remember that a statistical question is not going to give you answers that are like facts. You know, something like, what time did you get up this morning? Well, I got up at 6 o'clock. Well, everyone knows that I got up at 6 o'clock, that I got up at 6 o'clock. That won't be a statistical question. Or, what state do you live in? For most of us, we stay here in Mississippi. That is not a statistical question. So that's kind of a review on the statistical question. Then we went to 6.sp.2, where we talked about collecting that data and then using a distribution to describe its center, its spread, and its overall shape. And we use some vocabulary words to talk about those things. Remember that a spread is a variation of all of the data. The center is the typical value. Think of me as the center of attention. So you typically see me. That's your center. And your distribution talks about the way that everything is spread out. Just like we distribute out some peanut butter and some jelly to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or that we spread it all across the sandwich for spread. So, now, what are we going to use from last week to continue our lesson for this week? Well, last week we used statistical questions, which are questions used to investigate a real-world problem and can have a variety of answers. And also, we're going to be using a data set, which is a collection of information relating to just one thing. So, our standard that we're going to use today is 6.sp.3. Paste. It's there. And it says that we are going to recognize that a measure of center for a numerical data set summarizes all of its values with a single number, while a measure of variation describes how its values vary with a single number. Wow, that was a lot of things. That was a lot of different words. Help. Okay, I see you guys are pointing. Yeah, vocabulary. We're going to pull out some key vocabulary to help us unpack this entire standard. So, the vocabulary that we're going to use today. Pew, pew, pew. Here we go. An extreme value outside of normal values. An outlier. When I think of that, I think of how weird would it be? It's summer, and all of a sudden, you know, our normal values, our normal temperatures are 99, 98, 97, and then one day it gets down to 25 degrees. Wow, 25 degrees, that is not normal. And it's extremely not normal. That's an outlier. 25, outlier. Think of summertime and then it gets freezing cold. Something's not right there. Outlier. The average value of a data set. Now, when I think of the average, keyword, I'm thinking of the mean. Now, where else have I heard the word average? I was waiting on you. Oh, you guys told me? Yes, in class. You know, sometimes your teacher gives you your average grade. That means she gets all of your grades, and then finally you get that one grade that sums up everything that you've done. That is your average in your class. You know, and we're going to find out how to find your average. But for statistics, we call that the mean. The next one, the middle value. Middle, right there. The middle value, when the data are ordered from least to greatest. That is median. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the word median, because if you guys are driving, and I hope you are not, but if you are a passenger and you have seen a sign that says, keep off median. Well, they're talking about the middle of two roads. You know, the middle of two roads. That is the median. Now, if you're driving in a car and you see keep off the median, make sure you tell whoever is driving, don't get in the middle of both of the roads. Stay in their lane. Median, the middle. The next one, the value that occurs the most frequently. When I think of the most, I think of the mode. That is the term we're using today. Mode. The value that occurs the most. I know I can sing, even though I wasn't singing. Yeah. Well, I know I sound pretty good. Okay. I'm coming back. All right. The value that occurs the most frequently is the mode. Yes, say it with me. Mode. The most. Like how you did that. Range. Range measures the spread. Spread? Yes. The variation of all the data. But how are we going to use all of the data when we're talking about one number? Well, it's really the difference. And a lot of people relate difference to subtraction. Here's a little hint. But the difference between the maximum, and the word maximum means the biggest or the largest. I'm going to put large. And the minimum values. Minimum, the smallest. Okay? Range. And some people, like with vocal lessons or singing, they go from high to low. So our range is going to find the difference between your highest, which is your maximum, and your lowest, which is your minimum. Then we have measures of center and measures of variation. Measures of center attempts to describe a set of data by identifying the typical value. Still one. Now we have three measures of center: mean, median, mode. Again, we have three measures of center: mean, median, and mode. 3 M's. measures of center. Now, a single number used to describe the spread of a data set, and when I think of spread, here we go, the total spread, range. A single number used to describe the spread of a data set falls with a measure of variation. And there are two, but the one that we're going to use today for the measure of variation is going to be range. So we have three measures of center that we're going to talk about today: mean, median, mode. And we have one measure of variation, which is range. So here we go. Mean. Remember mean as the average of a data set. Now, in order for us to find the mean, in order for us to have a data set, we have to have a statistical question that gives us that information, that gives us that data. So our statistical question that we're using today is, how many points did the Mississippi Brilla score each game the last 2 years? So our numbers, or our information, our data set that we're going to use for this statistical question is going to be 0, 0, 2, 1, 4, and 3. Well, mean. Think average. Your average grade in class, or in our case, the average number of points scored. So I'm going to use, for this example, in yellow, our grades. We get 100, 100, a 90, and a 70. We're going to add those numbers together to get a sum, 360. Now, 360 is not the typical number. We didn't even get a 360 in class. So there's another step that we have to do. Well, 360 was what we got, our sum, when we added 4 scores. So in order for me to get an average of those 4 scores, I need to divide my sum by 4. My sum was 360. I added 4 scores, so that's what I'm going to divide by. 360 divided by 4 gives us 90. To get the mean, we're going to add all the values and then divide the sum by the number of values we have. So here we have 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus, that's a 1, plus 4 plus 3. Our sum, 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2, plus 1 is, I heard you, 3, plus 4 is 7, good job, plus 3 is 10. Well, how many numbers is that? That's 10, not 10 numbers, good job. Our sum is 10. Is 10 represent our typical number? No, it represents our sum. We now have to have 10 divided by how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 10 divided by 6. Long division here. 6 goes into 10 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract 4. Well, I have a remainder of 4. I'm going to turn this into a decimal. I'm going to add a decimal. And then I'm going to add a 0. Bring my 0 down. 6 goes into 40. 6 times, let's see, 6 times 6 gives us 36. That's pretty close. And that's going to give me a remainder of 4. I think it's going to repeat. So we're going to say 1.6 is about the average score, our mean, for the Mississippi Brilla. They score about 1.6 points, 1 6/10 points. Now we're doing our median. Remember, the mean was a measure of center. The mean gave us our average. Now our median is going to give us our middle value in order from least to greatest. Keep off the median. Keep out the middle of the road, guys. So let's look at this example with people. If I had to order these people in order from least to greatest, this will be incorrect. I'm going to order them from least to greatest, from shortest to tallest. And then I'm going to take the person that is in the middle, the median. I'm going to pull them off from left to right to figure out which one will be in the middle. Have 2 on each side. There's 1 left in the middle. She would be our median. She represents our median. So if we were to use some examples with numbers, numerical example, we need to look here. Oh wait, there's a look for. Our look for says that if there are 2 numbers in the middle, we need to add them and divide by 2. We may get to that. But here's our example. 70, 90, 100, 100. We have 4 numbers here. They are ordered from least to greatest. If I cross out from left to right to make sure that I'm precise in finding my median, I have 2 numbers left in the middle, 90 and 100. 2 numbers cannot represent your median. So you add them together, 90 plus 100. Or you can think, what number is in between 90 and 100? In the middle of it. I can add these 90 plus 100 to get 190, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. 90 plus 100 is 190. Thanks, guys. Divided by 2 is 95. That would be our median. Here we have 5 numbers ordered from least to greatest. 70, 90, 100, 100, 100. I'm going to cross out my numbers from left to right, 1 by 1, until I get 1 number in the middle, or 2. But in this case, we only have 1. That is 100. 100 would represent my median. Keep it off the median. Stay in the middle. The middle, guys. That is how we find our median. So that is also a measure of center. 2 measures of center so far, mean and median. Our next 2, mode and range. Mode is the number or numbers. I heard someone say numbers. Put that S on it. Good looking out. That occur the most often. Mode is the number that occurs the most. Ooh, that was loud. Well, here is our example. 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 8, and 2. Well, it says that 2 is the mode. Well, why? Because I have 2 3 times. Now, there's another look for with mode. Mode says there may be no mode. Or there may be more than 1 mode. So let's have another example. 0, 2, 1, 4, and 3. Well, 0 occurs only 1 time. 2 occurs 1 time. 1 occurs 1 time. 4 occurs 1 time. 3 occurs 1 time. They all occur 1 time. So what's the median? You're right. This is not median. We're looking for the one that occurs the most. You guys got it. And you guys said there's no mode That's right. None of these occur the most. They all occur one time. There is no mode. Bloop, 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 bloop. The last one, range. Now remember that range is going to be different. Why? Because the last three were all measures of center. Mean, median, mode. Measures of center. So if all of those were measures of center, range is a measure of variability. Good job. So what is range? Range is the difference between the lowest and the highest values. We've learned two other words today. Lowest could mean, it also means minimum. And highest means maximum. Think lowest, mini, minimum, and highest, max, maximum. So, in this example, they have 85 as the maximum and 40 as the minimum. 85 minus 40 gives us 45. Well, if we have an example using this set of numbers to represent our data set, what number would be my maximum? No? Okay. Oh, good job. Maximum. Okay? We're going to say 3, right? No. Minimum? 0. Correct. That's our minimum. And we are going to subtract those. 4 minus 0 gives us 4. 4 would be my range. Why is 4 your range? Well, from my minimum, it will take me 4 numbers to get to my maximum. For me to get from my maximum to my minimum, it still will take me 4 numbers. That's why we subtract our max and our min. 4 minus 0 gives us 4. Now, we've learned a lot of things. We've learned our minimum, maximum, minimum, smallest, maximum, our highest. We've learned our measure of variability, which is range. We learned our 3 measures of center, mean, median, and mode. So, what's next? Well, guys, what's next is you guys are well on your way to being statisticians. We know how to collect data using a statistical question. Now, we've learned how to summarize that data. We can summarize that data using measures of center and using measures of variation. Now, what's next? What's next is to go out there, do it. Go collect some data. Figure out how to we know how to summarize it, so go summarize it. And then, eventually, we're going to get into how to represent it. Sounds like a lot of stuff we can do. You guys are well on your way. Until next time, I'm going to keep practicing on my soccer. And you guys keep practicing being statisticians. Until next time.